Hello, everyone. Welcome to Opinions New by Dr. Frank Tianshi. I'm Frank. Right? In this episode, I want to talk about the American and Chinese strategies on TikTok. You heard about this company called TikTok, the software, right? And TikTok, the Chinese name or Chinese company name is Douyin. Right? Around this surrounding its future of TikTok in America, maybe in many other countries, there have been many fighting or what do you call this? Negotiations, dealing between U.S. and China. Right? There have been many drastic changes. The future seems actually quite unpredictable. Right? But if we really look at the Trump administration's strategy towards China and towards all those companies with the Chinese background or CCP, Chinese Communist Party background, we can tell that no matter how the Chinese Communist government maneuvers, how they plan their attack, they probably will be their efforts will be in vain, and eventually it's not going to change the final fate of this company, TikTok. Right? Back to the beginning. Let's start with the story. When first President Trump, issued an order that the company has to be sold or stop operation in 45 days. Okay? This is over a month ago. And then instead, Trump extended this deadline to 90 days, but seems did not seem to materialize, right? But just at this moment, the Chinese government just issued a new revised export control regime, Chinese technology export control regime. Okay? They tried to intervene in this sales of TikTok, right? And but in my opinion, no matter how crafty the Chinese government is playing its game, it only shows how greedy and stupid this dictatorship is government is, and show its true color to the people of the world. Right? Now, the latest issue on this TikTok is that President Trump, reiterated this on September 1st. Today is September 7th. He said that by September 15th, in 1 week, there must be a deal. The buyer and seller must reach a deal, right? If not, the U.S. government will stop the operation of TikTok in the United States. And they also emphasized that the U.S. Treasury must take a cut from the sales, right? And of course, now we know that there is alliance between Microsoft and Walmart in purchasing this TikTok, and the negotiation is still ongoing. Right? From Trump administration perspective, the U.S. government, the U.S. Treasury must benefit from the sales, right? Because it's because of the U.S. government, Trump administration, that the TikTok can continue to operate, you know, in the U.S. And so that's why U.S. government should be compensated. Right? Sound reasonable, right? And but this is when Trump first said that the U.S. Treasury or U.S. government needs to be compensated, it was beyond the expectation of many people. But I think this is actually quite in accordance with the characteristic of President Trump, and his way of doing things. Right? He had a business major, right? He has a rich business experience, successful businessman, right? Real estate, real estate mogul, right? And now he's a president, you know, with the American first, American make America great, ideology. And of course, in this sales, in this dealing, if he can get America to get something to get compensated, that's great. And it's funny, it's interesting, but it's great, a great idea, right? It is said that the White House is studying the ways, for U.S. government to actually benefit from the sales, of course, legally, right? And from the sources said that the White House is studying the compliance cost and to get paid for for this money. The compliance cost, of course, is what the companies pays or costs will cost the company to be compliant with all the regulations, such as the situation with TikTok. U.S., I think it's the Committee on Foreign Investment of the United States. Also the CFIUS is also looking at their fees. They are in the process. They could in a position to scrutinize or examine or approve this deal. Now they can take a fee out of that, right? Take a fee out of that. But that fee itself cannot be more than $300,000. So apparently, in Trump's eyes, that's peanuts. He's probably not be happy with that. So, but uh, also the Microsoft, the company, actually said, promised that they're going to make, provide economic benefit to America, including the Treasury, U.S. Treasury. I don't know what the Microsoft is trying to say here. What they said may probably is not, should not be, the tax revenue or the new jobs created with this new company, new venture, because those tax revenue or new job created, those benefits will be, taken by the state of Washington, right, where the Microsoft the company is located, and not by the federal government, right? But seem to me, this is actually quite something quite simple, right? The U.S. government can just take a commission, a sales commission, right? I'm teaching sales and sales marketing, right? And because it is U.S. government that helped to make this deal happen, right? So, and also the buyer, Microsoft has no objection to that, right? But according to the normal business protocol, the sales commission is paid by the seller, right? If ByteDance is a Chinese company that owns TikTok in America, right? If ByteDance, in the final contract to sell, and if their sales indeed goes through, they'll have to pay probably a 10% commission. Could be as much as a 1.5 to 2 billion US dollars. Not bad, right? Now, who is buying? Who are buying the TikTok in America or maybe others, right? And the deal now extends not to just TikTok in America, but also TikTok in Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. The buyer could probably buy all these operations together, right? Companies like Microsoft, Walmart, Oracle, and Twitter have showed interest in buying this. I would say, in my opinion, I think the combination of Microsoft, the partnership between Microsoft and Walmart, is in the best position. Yeah. Oracle, they probably shouldn't. It's not that good deal for Oracle, who is a really giant in B2B, software, and not for the consumer software, right? Like this one. And Twitter could be too small, or too not in a strong enough position to make purchase. We know Microsoft has enough technological know-how, and also the Walmart is probably looking at the youth market of TikTok, youth young people market of TikTok. Now with this purchase, the two can join hand with their technology and cash, and also this will benefit Walmart's ambitions to expand its sales online, to compete better with Amazon, and also to expand its business, from The current business are mostly targeting senior citizens and middle-aged people to young people, like the users of TikTok. So I think the combo or the cooperation between or partnership between Microsoft and Walmart, two leaders from two completely different industries, is a really great combination to make the purchase. Yeah. Now let's look at the Chinese company, Chinese government's plan in doing this. Right? I think the Chinese plan was that they could negotiate with American side, or maybe they can give some pressure. So then they could the deal could be like something like the ZTE company. Remember ZTE, the Chinese telecommunication company? And then eventually, if China made enough promises, and then U.S. will let the TikTok go. The U.S. government will let TikTok go, and not, dissolving or forcing the dissolving company or forcing it to be sold, right? And that I think is a misjudgment, a misunderstanding of your American stand on this. We have seen that Secretary of State Pompeo said that clearly, expressed very explicitly, that whoever is using or is running TikTok, the Trump administration will forbid it from getting information from American citizens. Right? This information includes things like location of the user, to sensitive data collection, and they could get the Chinese government would get the privacy and secrets of American citizens. Yeah. They could track the key federal government employees and also the military, contractors. Excuse me. Know their locations, their families, sensitive personal information to set up, set up a personal data bank or data bank on those key personnel, and they could even use those personal private information as a way to coerce those people from and force them to pass on those sensitive information to the Chinese. Excuse me. There is a Harris poll that shows 67% of Americans fear that China would use TikTok to collect personal information. Right? 59% of TikTok users have similar thoughts, similar concern. Right? And as high as 57% of Americans believe that the Trump administration should just kick TikTok out of U.S. market. So there is a grassroots support on that. Right? Just at the end of August, the Chinese Communist government issued a new edition of a Chinese tech export protocol regime or protocol. Right? Basically, it's targeting, I believe, it's targeting the purchase of TikTok. Right? And so, while the ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, is trying to sell that to America, sell its American business, I think Beijing wants to get involved or get benefit from that, right? And I think that another concern or the fear of the Chinese government is that if TikTok is eventually sold to, say, American companies such as Microsoft, and then the Chinese Communist government would have this fear that this will set terrible precedents, because then what about other companies, other high-tech internet companies from China, from the Alipay of Alibaba and WeChat of Tencent companies, right? And even Chinese state-owned banks, because they all have this same risk. Because Chinese state-owned banks in China, many of them are operating in America, they could get the personal, private information of American citizens and give that to the Chinese government, right? So they all have the same concern with regard to security. So they all should be forced to be sold to American companies, right? Now that would be a total disaster to the Chinese government, right? Because they're going to lose all the ways, all the means to set foot in the American market and get American secrets, right? So now it seems, now what's the latest on that? The negotiation between Microsoft and ByteDance seems to come to a halt or to some problem, issues here, right? The obstacle seems to be in the algorithm of the software. Whether the algorithm, the key algorithm could be included, should be included in the deal, right? And I think the reason the Chinese government just published is a new guideline on tech export, restriction on tech export is really targeting just this issue, right? But to me, the success of TikTok, is really in its marketing. You think about that, right? It's the use of versatile use or application of technology, right? And also by the app itself, development itself. It's not exactly why the algorithm is so advanced that the American companies cannot come up with. It's really not that, because TikTok, before it became so popular, it purchased American company, a similar company called Musical.ly or Musical.ly, Musically, right? I spent $100 million to buy this company, and the functionality of TikTok and Musically and are not that much different, right? So what is different is that it is very successful. The TikTok actually, can launch the really successful campaign to market itself and expand it quickly in America and the world. It's really a great example of marketing success. Okay? Now, why would the Chinese government step in at this time? What's in their mind? What's their plan? Right? TikTok has this marketing, superiority, superiority in a great advantageous position in marketing, right? But it doesn't really have so too superior uh, technology, right? And so this new Chinese export control regime is not really going to have that much of an effect. But what the Chinese government has been trying to do, I think, is one to show that I'm big guy. I'm still a big guy. I'm in charge, right? I can make things happen or not happen. And second, there is a trade sanction. I mean, there's a technology sanction or embargo from U.S. to China. There's sanction on technology export or transfer to China. And now Chinese on the Chinese side, they want to go like a tick for tick. What's that for? They want to fight back. They fight back to. They want to restrict technology transfer to America too, to show that they're pretty good at this. They're okay. They're good. So they can use this as a way to sell their propaganda internally to the Chinese people, to show how great the party is. Right? Thirdly, I believe the Chinese government got involved at this stage, at this time, is to make the investigation or the vetting longer. So they want to delay the whole process, and hopefully delay this further to after U.S. election. Hopefully, they were hoping that maybe Biden will win, then they could, not have to face the problem. But I don't think Biden is going to win. Trump is going to win. But that's the Chinese, probably in the Chinese mind, right? And also by delaying this whole process, they could hope to get more buyers, potential buyers involved, so as to get a better deal, better price on the sales. And the fourth reason I believe the government wants to get involved is because China is short on foreign exchange currency, short on money, they don't have money. Now there's a great opportunity to make the get in the pocket one, maybe 10 to 20 billion US dollars. They want to take a cut of that. Okay? As to Trump administration, I believe there should be pretty clear. I think they're smart enough to be very clear about the Chinese plan, right? That's why Trump, insists that there is a deadline of September 15th, a week from today, right? So as to limit the advantage on the seller side, okay? And but the in my opinion though, the owners and the big major stakeholders, stockholders of ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, and also American, the executives at Microsoft and Walmart, so they should know that if they let the Chinese Communist government get involved or get get interfere in their negotiation, the whole thing could be you know there could be no deal. They could mess up the whole thing, spoil the whole meal, right? In the end, ByteDance will not be able to sell this to Microsoft or Walmart at a reasonable price, or Microsoft and Walmart will not be able to purchase it, because of Chinese currency involvement. In the end, this company, TikTok, will have to cease its operation in the United States, and everybody loses. Okay, there's still a possibility. So as to what's going to happen, we'll just have to wait and see. All right. Thank you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.